Hello again, welcome back to AI War Fleet Command Champion Reboot. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that I did off screen. The time is forward a couple hours from where it was before. I absorbed another CPA and exo-wave attack, and we're actually now on the one after that. We have cleaned out Deimos in here almost completely, not quite completely, but almost. I'm done with it for the moment. And we've begun setting up in here for the next little fun adventure with the Superterminal. And I've cleared out everything. They're literally just destroying all of the drones that the command station produces, and all I have to do is have them destroy it. Now I've basically got a double beachhead. I've got the mobile builder in here, and I've got a bunch of shields here, and these are the modular fortresses: Zenith, Spire, and Ninezul. And I got a bunch of shields over this. A couple of them are still building. And of course, to get all this going, I did eventually have to build up some matter converters. Did some more research on locks. We'll take a look at those in a bit. But if we look at these themselves, we'll zoom in here real quick. And we've got a shield, and then we've got a mix of the other weapons around. I decided to put shields on them because I did one upgrade on those. Invested 2,000 in them, so I've got these Mark II shields, 4 of each of those, and then they have 8 of the smaller weapons. Now, which weapons they can carry varies a bit, depending on what fortress it is, but I did a mix. And then, of course, they have the standard weaponry that they come with. And so I've got them just outside of the shield so they can fire reasonably, and then they have their own shields back here. So all of that will help quite a bit. Great deal of DPS in this system, obviously all my heavy beam cannons, which means they're not defending elsewhere, so that is a bit of an issue. And then if we take a look at what we unlocked, I decided that I wanted to go with the decloaker, so I got that, and that's to deal with any Zenith processors that might be hanging out as threat. And then along with the 1 increased shield, the standard one, that's as far as I'm going to go with those. They could take Mark III ones, which would be even better. But I figured it would be helpful to get some shields up for other purposes later, so I may want to use those modular fortresses in some key systems down the road. And then if we look here at the starships, I've got the Mark I and Mark II of the Zenith and the Spire unlocked. And then I did Mark II flagship, Mark II plasma, Mark II cloaker. And that's what I used the rest of the knowledge that I had accumulated from that latest archive in RIA. But in the most recent attack, not this one but the previous one, with the exo wave and the CPA, I realized that I could not hold it off with just static defenses. Like I was able to on that case, but I got really fortunate. Depends on how the CPA hits. But like this one that just hit is 2,700 ships and change. It's going up by 400 or 500 ships each cycle. And I have to keep my own fleet here in Radislava. They're not here yet. They're in Papagena, but they're going to be heading back that way next. Because I need them all there or I can't defend against the exo wave. And if they're all there and the CPA groups up in 1,500, 2,000 or so ships hit another system, they're going to wipe that out. We're going to lose some critical stuff. So in the key systems, by which I mean the ones that are protecting something I need to keep, I could lose Typhon, I could lose Uranus, I wouldn't care. Could lose Papagena now that I've lost the factory earlier. Those could just be rebuilt. But that's not the case with, for example, Ouija Man and the Zenith power generator. So what I've done is I've built a warhead. I've got one Lightning warhead Mark I here, one in Pretoria, one in Ria. And then I also have, back in Radislava, I've got 2. Well, I only have one. I was going to build a second one. There we go. 2 of the Mark II variety. The homeworld protected a little more. So I'm at the point where I feel like I need to be prepared to defend with warheads. I may not be able to need them depends on what the AI tactics are, but I need to have them ready just in case I do. So that's sort of my setup, and then I'm going to retreat the fleet back to the homeworld and wait for the exo wave to hit. That's synchronizing here. And it's only at about 60% or so, so hopefully it won't be too huge. But I need to defend against that first. Use the warheads and these other systems to defend against the CPA if necessary. and then go clean up. So that's the strategy, and we'll see how that works. Okay, here we go, and I'm finding that this continues to be really touchy. By the way, there's like 30, over 30 of these, which is bigger than the last one, even though it only pulled up to 61%, so I think they're going to get quite large. But I'm finding it continues to be really touchy as to where I need to put my you know, fleet ball here to face off, so they'll face off against it instead of trying to just charge through it. Right now it seems right about where the grav turrets are, just slightly behind it. Seems to be working now. Again, I don't have the heavy beam cannons in here like I did last time. Why not? Because they're all in the beachhead set up for the Superterminal hack. And we're going to get a standard wave coming in here soon. And see, this next one from the blue AI came in just before we were finished, so we just barely cleared that out in time, and I think this one is about the same size. They have tended to be so. So we're going to, we had over 900 ships, and almost half of them are gone. More dropping like flies here, I am sure. But it looks like we're once again going to hold it off. Please. We're taking the occasional hit back here, maybe more than occasional, but we're doing okay. And yeah, I think we lost our sniper turret, so that's causing us a problem. Nonetheless, that is dead, and here's that small little standard wave that's coming in. That is dead. Okay, so now over half of our ships are gone, but they're mostly the expendable smaller ones. We've still got most of our big guns left. So what are they doing now? Hyperion, obviously. I mean, if you look at the numbers and the strength, they're like 15 times, 20 times what everything else has. And that's here. It looks like they're headed for Typhon. So what I want to quickly do is round up everybody and see if I can save that. I may not be able to, but still I'd rather fight them off with the support of some turrets than fight them off in some random system. Fight them off in a system where we can get the salvage as opposed to a system where they're going to get reprisals on us. And they decided to go after the expendable system of Uranus. Now, there was something like 1,800 ships initially, and they'd taken out half of them, a little over half of them, but sort of the weaker half by the time we got here. That's the good news. Sort of the bad news, of course, is that the system is, you know, being hammered in pretty good. So I think it's sort of hit or miss whether we're actually going to be able to pull this off. But I'm just going to move everything at top speed in here. And then we will unload everything. We're going to go with maximum defense. And see what happens. And of course, yeah, lots and lots of Zenith reprocessors. 200 and some. That's always a concern. But at the very least, we're going to thin them out quite a bit here. Of course, there's no warheads in this system because it's not a vital one. Down to less than 100. I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to hold off here. You can see some of their snipers already retreating. That's fine. And after this is down, see, now we're going to be down to about 1,000 threat. So that's going to be a manageable number. I should be able to just sort of regroup, consolidate my fleet, wait for it to fully form, and then go after whatever that remainder is. It is now time to begin the Superterminal hack. Couple things first, it's been pretty much a solid hour since the Uranus fight. That knocked us totally out of metal, had to rebuild the fleet. Then once it was rebuilt, go get a super hybrid that was building bad things. Clear out the 800, 900. It got over just over 1,000 threat. And of course, every wave that came in was much appreciated because of the salvage. I replaced any military command stations I thought I could get away with logistic ones, helping that out a little bit. And generally speaking, it just took some time. But it was pretty quiet otherwise. We've got a super hybrid out there right now. I've got a couple waves coming in that I don't care about. I think that's actually the first wave we've had that dares to hit Rhea. I doubt it gets anywhere. But we're just able to gradually go ahead and do that. We have no exo waves coming at the moment, no CPAs coming at the moment. Of course, we know that they will be coming back. but there are none right now. So we're feeling strong, ready to get this going. There's a couple things that I need to do. One is I'm going to move my engineers up here. And the second is that I'm going to, nope, not that one. I'm going to turn off FRD, because otherwise they're just going to try to be building these, and that doesn't do anybody any good. Just a quick little thing here, if you want to see what my total assemblage is, you can see the scroll here on the right. Pretty much already gone through what all that is built up. Now I have put up a few warheads that we're going to be using here. I tried this without warheads, and I was able to get it done as far as I wanted to go, but then there was about 7,000 AI ships left, and they were going through wrecking things. And if I let them escape this area, then I've just got to use warheads on them elsewhere, except for I've been set back in losing this. So I don't care if I lose the fleet. I don't care if I lose control of this system temporarily. I just need to not have a huge ball of stuff floating around menacing my systems and forcing me to deal with it there. It would be much more cost effective to just use the warheads here. So that's what I'm going to be doing there. I've got two Mark 1, one Mark 2, one Mark 3 Lightning warheads. And if I don't use them all, that's fine. The Mark 2 and Mark 3 ones are for the end of things. And then I'm also just going to have this set to constantly be building a Mark 1. And the only thing left to do at this point is get my colony ship up so I can take control of the system, which will initiate the... Where are you going? Let's all stay where we are, shall we? And onward we go. Now, initially we just take them all out remotely, and then they start escaping. And I like how the one fortress, a couple of them have the firepower to actually shoot all the way down here. They're going to chase our metal harvesters here for a bit. Now, of course, the numbers we care about are the hacking and AI progress. AI progress already down by a few numbers. Hacking will start dropping eventually. And soon this number will start spooling up. It's a much tamer beginning than our previous one, because we'd already done a fair bit of hacking in that game. Even though it was on an earlier difficulty, we'd done a fair bit of hacking on it earlier. And that's not the case here. So everything has been starting from 0, but of course it's going to ramp up pretty quick. It just gives us that little bit of head start and allows us to get more out of the hack. Now they're going to start spawning them off on the sides. That's lovely. And so we're just sort of chilling out. Well, now we're starting to get them close enough to do some damage. Not a lot of damage, not huge packs of them, but some. And of course, one of the nice things about this whole scenario is all the scrap we're getting is going to be absurd. Particularly if we remain control of the system. So I really don't have to worry so much about metal. But you can't repair things when they're constantly taking damage. So that's the issue here. Power surge from the Superterminal. Now we're starting to see the hacking start to glide down slowly. We have reduced AI progress by 25 already. Was at 155 when we began this wonderful adventure. Now they're starting to pile up and attack some. I don't think it's enough that I want to throw in a warhead, but I'm starting to think about it here. And the other thing that I've got to remember is that the frigates, when they send the frigates out, if it's all frigates, well, the warheads don't affect them. But I can rely on my other ships and whatnot to punish those. I just need to make sure that we continue fighting everything off. Down to 115 AI progress. Hacking hasn't gone down that much yet. But of course the reduction will accelerate. Yeah, and we've spent 60 some now on the hacking. You see each tick is 2.25. That started at 1. And what on earth are these? Oh, high mark Zenith reprocessors. How fun. These are all frigates. Let's send one out. Let's see if we can just drive one really deep into their formation. I'm going to drive it as far up here as I can get it. Yeah, and it's going to explode up this way. Still, that cleared out the stuff up here, and it's going to create another one. So that's -1 AI progress from the theoretical maximum that we could get. But of course, if you look at this current scenario, we've dropped it by almost 60. So losing 1 AI progress, not that big of a deal. And it allowed this to heal, which is big. They've got a whole bunch of these impulse reaction ships. Okay, this is getting down pretty low. Let's send out another one. Yeah, okay, now they're starting to send carriers. This is probably a good time. So let's turn that off. I'm just going to use the 5 that I've got here if I use all of those. Okay, and I don't want it to get... There we go. There's a nice explosion. I don't want it to get any lower than that, or else I risk going negative, at which point the AI reaction becomes extreme. So I'm selecting all my sniper and spiders and making sure they knock this out. There we go. Okay, so now the Superterminal's dead. We stop at 20 hacking, and yeah, 9,800 ships, almost 10,000 ships. Okay. Now they're not all going to be here right away. Let's see. Lots of frigates in here. Okay, now there comes another group of whatever. Let's send out another Mark 1. Let's have it go after that carrier. It's a nice juicy target. Probably won't get there. There we go. It's a nice little bit of relief. Down to 8,600. Whoa, a whole bunch of fun stuff over here. Spider bots and whatnot. And I want to wait. I'm going to send out another after that carrier. Boy, there's just so many frigates in here, though. Yeah, I'm going to wait. You just stay here. I've got a Mark 1, a Mark 2, and a Mark 3. They've probably got enough of a mix in there now. Let's go after that. Okay, yeah, not a whole lot went down there. I'm going to send out a Mark II after one of their big carriers towards the rear. And then I'll wait till the end for the Mark III. That didn't do a whole lot. Got to wait for them to spill out. We've got our super hybrid location. I've got to think all of these carriers packed in here. You should be able to have an impact on them. Now that they're right here in front. There we go. That was a beautiful shot. Now we're down. Yeah, now we're down to 2,000. I think we can probably handle this. So I gained back about 10 AA progress roughly in the warheads that I used. I'm sure I didn't use them optimally. But I think we're going to be able to clean the rest of this out. And you notice our AI progress is at 69. So that means the overall loss in terms of AI progress was 86. Which is a very, very nice thing. And you see, like, we're actually at the floor. So no amount of further reduction would even help. 69 is our AI progress floor right now. And 67 is what it would be with all the reduction we have. So it's actually we're actually at -2. Like we have 2 more reduction than we can actually use. And now we're down to 240 some. We're going to clean out the rest of this. Hat complete. Now what? There will definitely be some maintenance stuff to do. I'm going to want to probably be gradually putting up those modular fortresses in appropriate locations. And by appropriate locations, I probably mostly mean the home roll. I relocate the heavy beam cannons to systems that I don't want to lose. But the next major project is definitely going to be to go after the homeworld of Themis. I'm going to want to come in through Psyche, so I'm going to want to bash that around. We are now down to the beginning of the life or death struggle at the end. It's either going to be them or us. They will overwhelm us with their exo waves, or we will bash through and win to victory against the homeworlds. It will not be an easy struggle, but I think we got a decent shot at it here. So I'll start working towards Themis next time. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody. More AI War will continue.